The new grip and throttle assembly conversion kit includes the throttle wire, throttle trigger assembly, 2 compression bands, anti-vibration grip, plastic corrugated tube, and metal shaft tool. Tools that are not included in the kit that you will need are a ruler, wire pulling tool, 4mm hex wrench, number 2 Phillips head screwdriver, box cutter knife, a pair of cut-resistant gloves, and a glass of water. Remove the air filter cover and disengage the throttle cable. Then unplug the kill switch wires. Take a 4mm hex wrench and loosen the socket head cap screw located on the side of the clutch case assembly. Then pull out the drive shaft tube. Remove the plastic corrugated tube. Then take a Phillips head screwdriver and remove the screw on the old throttle trigger assembly. Then move the old throttle trigger assembly away from the old shaft grip. To remove the old grip using an air gun, put the nozzle up under the shaft grip and blow compressed air while working the old shaft off from the drive shaft tube assembly. When using a knife to remove the old shaft grip, remember to use cut-resistant gloves. To remove the old shaft grip using a knife, place the drive shaft tube assembly on a flat surface, then cut horizontally along the old shaft grip. Remember to always cut away from yourself to avoid injury. Then remove the old throttle trigger assembly. Take a 4mm hex wrench and loosen the socket head cap screw on the new throttle trigger assembly. Set the throttle lever to the L position on the new throttle trigger assembly. Make sure to align the new throttle trigger assembly so that it matches the loop handle and the gear case. Once the new throttle grip is properly aligned, tighten the socket head cap screw. Slide one of the compression bands onto the drive shaft tube. Put some water on the inside of the grip and onto the drive shaft tube. Do not use any oil or other lubricants for this operation. Work the grip onto the drive shaft tube and ensure that the small part of the throttle cable channel aligns with the throttle cable housing on the throttle assembly. Make sure that there is 2.7 inches of space between the grip and the end of the drive shaft tube for BT23L models, 2.6 inches of space for the E27 and EH23 DSL models, and for other models, 1.4 inches of space between the grip and the end of the drive shaft tube is needed. Align the grip so that the bottom part lines up with the throttle cable housing. Use the metal shaft tool and insert it up under the compression band while working it around the lip of the grip. Repeat the same operation from section 10. Take a wire pulling tool and insert it into the narrow underside of the grip. Take the kill switch wires, loop them in the middle, and insert the hook of the pulling wire pulling tool. Pull the wire tool towards the back end of the grip. With the throttle lever on the L position, insert the throttle cable through the underside of the grip and install it onto the throttle assembly. Push the throttle assembly flush towards the grip. Tighten the socket head cap screw on the throttle assembly. Install the corrugated tube sheath onto the throttle cable and kill switch wires. Install the engine back onto the drive shaft assembly. Make sure that there is 0.6 inches of space between the grip and the clutch case assembly for BT23L models, 1.2 inches of space for E27 and EH23 DSL models, and 0.2 inches of space for all other models. Then tighten the socket head cap screw on the side of the clutch case assembly. Attach the throttle cable to the throttle swivel plate. Make sure that the rounded part of the throttle cable slides into the circular hole on the throttle swivel. Install the ignition kill switch wires onto the ignition coil wires. The L position indicates low throttle, and the throttle cable will not actuate fully. Pull the adjustable throttle lever to the H position and test the functionality of the throttle trigger. The throttle should actuate if installed correctly. Reinstall the air filter cover.